Okay, good evening to you. And my name is Harith. I am from Management and Science University, MSU. Currently, I am doing in Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Technology, final year. So today, what we're going to learn is a basic topic, which is a thin layer chromatography in pharmaceutical analysis. In this topic, what are you going to learn is the basic principle on what is thin layer chromatography, or we call as TLC in a short form, and the definition, the methods, and the purpose of the TLC. Okay,
Understood.
so what is thin layer chromatography? Firstly, it is a technique used to identify compounds and to determine their purity of mixture. Means that we need to know what is this particular compound and what is the polarity, and can be used to separate many different mixtures. And it is also cheap and widely used in pharmaceutical and food industry because yeah, it's very cheap. It doesn't need use it doesn't use any machine. Okay, it only use apparatus, material, and then also it is only involved in qualitative analysis, which is the results will be only involved in numbers, data, or any measurement. Okay, so next is a stationary phase. In stationary phase, the TLC plate is made of aluminum glass because okay, and next one is the plate coated have 0.3 millimeter thickness, and some of it added by fluorescent during light UV exposure. TLC plate is a plate that will put in the glass chamber, means it have already been coated with the fluorescence. Okay, so next, the TLC plate usually have is silica in a silica that have been used as the stationary phase, and there are type of it, which is silica gel G, G25, and cellulose. It made of silica GG, G25, and cellulose. And then the sample separation depending on their polarity of the sample. Okay, this is the place where the separation of mixture occurs when we can see the polarity of the sample. So for the mobile phase will go up on the plate depending on the sample polarity itself. Okay, as I explained before, the stationary phase, when the stationary phase is polar, the solvent, which is the mobile phase, will bring the polar compound more further on a silica gel plate. Okay, so the next one is they only use volatile organic solvents such as you can see here, this is hexane. And then the third one is the more polar the solvent, the further it will move a polar compound up on the silica gel plate. Okay, the mobile phase will travel more further on the 3C plate. Okay, and the last one is the mobile phase is made to see the particular drug will have different retention factor, which is the RF value in a system. RF value is a formula for distance traveled by the solvent, and then the distance traveled by the sample. Okay, so this is the type of TLC, which is reverse phase and normal phase. For reverse phase, the stationary phase is non-polar and the mobile phase is polar. Same goes to normal phase. The stationary phase is polar and the mobile phase is non-polar. Basically, it just opposite
Understood.
toward each other. Okay. So this is the thin layer chromatography, what it looks like. We have the TLC chamber, we have the TLC plate, which is the stationary phase, and the mobile phase, the solvent. Okay, so the spotting line, we usually use pencil to draw it, and then we put the standard and the mixture above it. Okay, and then the mobile phase. Okay, the mobile phase will go through the TLC plate, will travel to TLC plate until it reach the solvent front, because this is liquid. Okay, the solvent. Okay, you travel and you can see the result, which is this one is the result, the dots. Okay.
Okay, understood.
Okay, now we're gonna look into the method. Okay, I have the video here. Okay,
Ya, apa itu?
video.
Oh, video.
Yes.
Bah. Boleh saja.
I will. Okay, this is the TLC plate. Okay, the TLC plate will put into the TLC chamber. This one is the mobile phase liquid, like mobile phase, which is, for example, hexane. Okay, they will put the TLC plate in here. Okay, before that, we have to draw a line here. Okay, okay, we need to draw a line using pencil. Cannot use pen, and then draw the spot. Okay, this spot is for the sample. Okay, first spot is for the sample. We put the sample first. Okay, then compound A, compound B, and compound C. Just one drop, okay? And then, okay, then we put into the TLC chamber. We dip into the mobile phase, the solvent. Okay, do not dip until, do not, okay, this one is the mechanism how it will go into the TLC plate. Okay, so now we can see here the different affinity towards the stationary phase. Okay, this one is the affinity towards the stationary phase is high, and then the more the further this sample goes, the affinity the affinity towards the mobile phase is high. Okay, the reason why is because the mobile phase is non-polar. Okay, when a compound is put here, when the compound is non-polar, the non-polar the non-polar compound will travel more further from the mobile phase. Okay, this is the molecule for silica gel. Okay, just we saw the previous video. The mobile phase is non-polar, right? So when a compound travel, the non-polar will travel more further on the TLC plate. Okay, so the compound that uh, the compound that you can, as you can see here, this compound is more polar. Okay, okay. After that, we will dry up using the dryer, and then we visualize using the UV lamp. After that, after visualize the using this machine, we can see the dots, the presence of different retention factor. Okay, this is the determination of the retention factor. Okay, this is the formula of RF retention factor, which is oh my god. Okay, the distance traveled by the component is divided by distance traveled by solvent. This is the distance traveled by component. No, this is the distance traveled by component, and then this is the distance traveled by solvent. Solvent is mobile phase. Component is the previous video that we saw. They put the compound here, so we determine the retention factor. So the sample is used to know the presence of the compound. Okay, which is the compound that same with the sample, same presence with the sample. Okay, then eh, okay. So for the advantages, first one in TLC they are used because they are cheap. Okay, because they are not involving too much apparatus and machine, and then they are simple because easy to install or run it. After that, the process can be seen by naked eyes because we can see my previous slide, the work done manually and not using any machine. And then the result also can be seen easily using our naked eyes. And lastly, they are able to use various chemicals as detector. That's all from me. Thank you. Any question
Um, he, um, dalam bahasa Melayu boleh kah?
in
Oh,
English?
sorry. Okay. Jadi aku ada satu soalan. Aku dah tahu macam mana nak translate. Okay. Gini. Soalannya ni ya. What is silica gel used in TLC?
What is silica?
Silica gel used in TLC.
Silica gel used in the silica gel is used in TLC plate because uh they use in forming the thin layer on the stationary metal piece as a absorbent. Okay, so they consist a covalent structure made of silicon atoms and oxygen atoms. So the surface of the silicon dioxide compound structure is polar due to the bonds. Okay.
Wow. Thank you. I think that is all for the question.
Okay. And now, can you scan it for me? Can you evaluate it for me? Scan this QR code.
Okay, wait. Okay. This one. Wait. So all I have to do is write my name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
Name of evaluator is you.
Should I put my real name?
Of course, you need to put your real name.
Okay, wait. So select student. Wait ah. Mana ni?
Muhammad Harith
Uh,
Haziq.
Melissa Zaki. Okay. Then did okay credit score. For me, I'll give it for 20 lah because so far I understand what you say.
Okay.
And for the answer, thank you for the answer just now lah. For answering my question just now. And then credit score, I'll be okay. Grammar and conversion. For grammar, yeah, I give four lah. Because I still understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah, good.
And then for the layout and presentation, I gave it three because you were kind of like skipping the what do you call that? Skipping the video, so it made me like less understand about the video for the presentation. I give it three. Should I even tell this to you?
Sure, why not? I can improve it.
Okay, sure. Then see, she answer critically. For the question, I give it four because so far you give it accurately, and I really for all the question really like memuaskan. Like I'm satisfied with
That's fine.
the answer that you the answer that you the
Give.
answer that you yeah. Okay, for the attention to audience, I gave it eight. And any recommendation to her? Or optional lah. Okay. Any recommendation? May I know what kind of recommendation that I should this one?
I don't know.
What
My presentation.
in which term that for the recommendation?
Any recommendation, like my slides, my presentation, my video,
Hmm.
YouTube video. How is it?
Is it this okay?
Do I need to
Office
speak loudly or clearly like that?
most office Nyam Sing. Bahas sudah.
Already done. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very welcome. Thank you for the interview just now. Okay, thank you.